Hi, it's David Blaise. I got a great question from one of our makeover participants recently that really applies to anyone who wants to build a profitable client base, so I decided to put together this video for you to answer it. It has to do with the concept of drip campaigns, the things that we use to stay connected to our prospects and clients who may not have a specific need right at the moment. And the question is this: could you recommend additional information on creating a drip campaign? I'm going to assume I can use some of the principles from Sledgehammer Marketing. However, I'm finding it difficult to determine a first action to get started. Thanks in advance. Okay, well, let's start with the purpose of an intelligently crafted drip campaign, as opposed to, let's say, a typical drip campaign. Now, just to clarify, a typical drip campaign might involve sending out special offer emails, brochures, sales flyers, supplier emails, or catalogs on a regular basis. And there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's just that a really intelligent and well-crafted drip campaign accomplishes a broader, and in my opinion, a much more important set of objectives. Let me explain. In Top Secrets of Multi-Million-Dollar Producers, Bruce Jolish made a great point. He said, you want to ask yourself, how many times can I get my name across their desk without asking them for anything? And certainly, the better you're able to answer that question for yourself, the better the drip campaigns that you create are likely to be. So let's say the first thing you want to do in your intelligent drip campaign is to simply get your information in front of your prospects and clients as often as possible without asking them for anything. That's what I refer to as intelligent repetition of contact. And it's a great start right there. But let's also think in terms of what else we might like to accomplish in our communications. For example, you might want to build rapport with them as well. If we're going to be in touch regularly, we might as well accomplish as much as we possibly can with each communication, right? We're all familiar with the idea that people do business with those they know, like, and trust. So let's look at some of the specifics of making that happen in a good drip campaign. The more you can get people feeling like they know you and like you, the stronger the relationship is likely to be. So if you want to make that happen, you're going to need to get a bit personal. Revealing bits of yourself and your personality in your communications is going to be essential. So let's say objective number one is to get your information across their desks without asking for anything so they can get to know you better. Excellent. Objective two is to build rapport and get a little personal so they can also start to like you better. That's even better. At that point, objective three needs to be to position yourself as an expert or an authority so they can trust you better. Think of it this way. They have to know you have their best interest at heart. They have to genuinely and generally like you, or at least not actively dislike you. But they also have to trust that you know how to help them. And that means creating value for them and positioning yourself as the expert. Many people use some type of newsletter, either printed, electronic, or both, to create value and demonstrate their expertise. And a regular monthly newsletter accomplishes the goal of getting your information across their desks 12 times a year without asking for anything. Now, if your writing style is personal, it will also help people to get to feel like they know you and hopefully like you better. And if the content is solid, it positions you as the expert and demonstrates that you know what you're talking about. That will allow you to capture their trust as well. So, if you're looking for a first action to get started, I'm going to recommend at least a monthly newsletter. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can literally be a couple of paragraphs. In fact, when I first started sending out the Top Secrets of Promotional Product Sales newsletter roughly 10 years ago, it was a 3 or 4 paragraph text email. That was it. And guess what? Today it's pretty much the same thing, except now it's HTML. 3 or 4 paragraphs of good solid content on a subject that people are interested in. That's it. So the next question you're likely to ask is, what do I write about? Well, you can start by addressing commonly asked questions, maybe questions about what you do or how you do it differently. You can talk about what's going on in the economy and how it impacts your clients. You can tell an interesting success story or case study that people could learn something from. Or you could take an answer that you provided someone to a specific question and turn that into content, just like I'm doing now. Once you get into the habit of creating content, you'll find inspiration for material all over the place. I always carry a digital recorder with me to capture those ideas as they occur to me. And as you continue to communicate with your prospects and clients, you'll also start looking for better and different ways to do so. So your text email may evolve into a printed piece, or an HTML email with pictures and links, a recorded audio, an audio podcast, a web video, or even a series of web videos. In fact, what you're looking at right now is essentially an extension of the drip campaign I started with my first email newsletter. So to whatever extent you feel like you know, like, and trust me, it's pretty much all been the result of the various drip campaigns that I've engaged in for years. If you do it regularly, they'll get to know you. Do it personally, they'll get to like you. Create value for them in each communication, and they'll also get to trust you. So those are the essentials of a good, solid, intelligently crafted drip campaign. Eventually, you can start using technology to layer them one on top of the other and create what seems like a constant flow of communications from you without you having to spend all your time actually doing it. But we'll tackle that subject in a future video. In the meantime, thanks for watching.